Okay. I have had UFO experiences or rather paranormal experiences from the time I was 4 years old. Um, I was regressed by Tony Dodd, he took me to someone who regressed me Tony Dodd took me to someone who regressed me. And, I, um, I've got another video to upload or put together because my husband and I went in the woodlands and I took some apples to Tibu and her friends, her family, but didn't take enough. So next time I'm going to take just apples. I'm going to take other fruit as well and possibly some cakes and that because I'm sure they'd eat cakes. Well, they're people. They're just forest people, but I just gotta be careful what I give them because I don't know how their systems will react and that because I don't know how their systems will break down sugar in cakes or anything like that. So I just gotta be very careful what I feed them. But no, I heard them wood knocking the other night. Since I've been here with my husband, I have sarcoidosis and it's now on my neck. It was gone from my legs to my neck, and when you see the video that I've got to put together to upload, you'll hear how breathless I get. My husband and I are soon to be getting a bungalow somewhere, and from what I understand, and there'll be some woodlands behind it, so we'll be able to take food out to the forest people and that, and hopefully if there's fruit trees in the garden they can help themselves to the fruit. Wouldn't bother me if they come in the garden. I mean, considering one went around the caravan in America when I was 14, that one terrified me immensely, but since seeing Tibu in her den, I'm not too bothered now. They're peaceful, loving people. They don't, and yes, they are people because all they are is, obviously are bulkier because they have to have more body fat and mass to survive in the woodlands, and they're more hairier to protect them from the cold and cool them down in the heat and that, but at the end of the day, they're still people. And I love them. I love Tibu very much. She's, but in case you're wondering where I'm at present, I'm with my husband and in the flat, but I've got to go back to the care home. Stupid flies. I gotta go back to the care home tomorrow night. So if I do any live broadcasts, it would be from there for a little while, and then I'll be going to, I got little tiny hands, and I'll be going to, I'll be coming back here on the 25th, and I'll be here till the 29th and that, and then that way we can go in and get some more food. Shopping in, I can get some more things to take out in the woodlands for Tibu and her family. I'll probably get I'll get 2 or 3 bags of apples, I think, and then get some other different types of fruit to mix with it. Like citrus fruit and stuff like that. Because, stuff like, even grapes, seedless grapes, I think they would like. I'm just gonna get loads of things that they will enjoy eating, because our Lord created them the same way He created us, and I'm just thankful that He's calling me home in not too distant future because it says in the scriptures, the day of our death is better than the day of our birth. And my birth was very traumatic. I was born with cerebral palsy, or cerebral palsy, however you want to say it. I say cerebral palsy. my husband was as well, but that's why I've got this problem in my eye. Really, I should be wearing my glasses. Hang on. This will stop the distortion of my right eye, which apparently the optometrist says I got to have surgery on or I'll go blind, which really, if the sarcoidosis gets to it, it's not going to make that much difference if I get it sorted or not, because I'll be blind in the eye anyway. Because sarcoidosis can get to the brain, and when it gets to the brain, well, there's not much that can be done about that. At the minute, that's what I'm concerned about. It's already in my lungs. I've already got leukemia, because that's what that is, and that. So I'm not but like I said, the scriptures say the day of our death is better than the day of our birth, which means that, like in my case, I was born with cerebral palsy. I started to come out breech. I was in my mother's womb 24 hours, at which case at some point I stopped breathing, or something happened, because I got brain damage. And no, I suffered brain damage that affected my body physically, but it didn't affect my mind. My mind is au fait. My mind is there. But, the problem is, I get tired easily. I'm just waiting for my husband and I to get the go to get moved, and then my husband's going to be packing up all my scientific equipment and that, and my crocheting, and that this end. Now I got like 40 plus boxes the other end for when we get moved into our bungalow, so we got to go through all of that. And I've got to sort out my clothes, the ones I want to go to, because I got a lot of clothes in the attic at Heath's house I want to give away, but it's just knowing who to give it to, because there are so many clothes produced in this world that nobody should be without clothes. Nobody. There's enough clothes mass-produced on the scale that every human being on Earth should have at least a week's, well, even more than that, of clothes, which I found out to my, and not only that, with clothes being so affordable now compared to what they used to be, some clothes are so much easier to buy, like, for example, what I've got on. This is I like abayas. I like Muslim clothing, dresses and that, because, well, being Messianic Jewess, they're modest clothing, they're lovely clothing, and they go nice with my titchels and that, and I like wearing them because they're just appropriate clothing to wear, and very modest clothing, so, and that's what, as a Messianic Jewish woman, as with a Muslim woman, you want to have modest clothing on. But I digress. Anyway, I've got clothing to sort out. And I need to sort out because I know that there's women, Muslim and other Jewish women, who are homeless and who need clothing and that. And I'm just because my mind thinks, well, what it is, I think subconsciously my brain is still remembering how it was when I went to Heath's house. I had nothing but the clothes on my back. And I had to get all sorts of clothing for summer, winter, spring, autumn. And anyway, I just didn't realize how much clothes I'd bought But I had to buy clothes this end because I can't keep traipsing back and forth with those clothes. It's impossible. It's just not easy for me to do. So I got clothes this end to wear when I'm this end. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a sort out. My good clothes I want to keep to one side. But oh, my other clothes are good as well. But I mean the ones that the good clothes I want to give away, I'm going to keep to the other side. And then it's just trying to work out where the needs are, because so many, like these poor women, refugees, my heart goes out to them, and they must be in need of clothes as well. And like I said, they have to have modest clothes, and a lot of women today, unfortunately, don't dress modestly. So, you know, if you do dress modestly and you have extra clothes that you want to give away, you know, that's the best place, is to send them to the refugees or send them to crisis centers for women who, you know, who would love to have modest clothing, or give them to like St. Martin's. But as I was saying, getting back to the woodlands, I want to get Tibu and her people protected, because the other night they were wood knocking, and I'll have to capture them wood knocking and do a live broadcast so you can hear it. But the reason I'm doing a live broadcast is, like I said, because I'm really ill, and I just want to put it out on air, you know, just to highlight a few things. I'm not after pity, I'm not after anything from anybody. I just want to basically get some things out, which is on my mind while I still can. But I want the forest peoples protected, and I want their lands protected, both here in Britain and abroad, because they look after the woodlands. Matter of fact, when we left the woodlands, I wished I had recorded it. I didn't realize I could have done a live broadcast like this. But anyway, Tibu shouted out to me as I was leaving. I heard her say hello. She was it sounded like she was up in a tree somewhere. But it was definitely her, because you know, she doesn't speak like we speak, but it was definitely her, and she sounded like she was right up one of the tall trees. The problem is I couldn't see her, but I remember the first time when she was in the woodlands and when she was trying to get my attention. First time, I just smelled this really pongy smell, you know, of human waste. And I thought someone had actually done that. And then I got to realize, well, why would someone do that? You know, because the woodlands are surrounded by housing. So, you know, why would someone want to do that? They can get back to where they live to get to the toilet. And then the second time, my husband and I actually stepped in some scat. We had to clean our shoes, but before we did, I made a note that it didn't smell. It was human in the sense that you could tell it was human waste, but the scent of it was wild, and it was vegetarian. It was a scent of berries and that, so it was kind of like, strange enough, it was kind of like, despite being waste, it was a clean waste. It had none of the byproducts that our bodies get from the chemicals we're exposed to. It was a lot cleaner compared to ours. That's the only thing I can describe it as, because what it is, we take in so many preservatives and all this other rubbish. We we consume that in part helps contribute to poisoning our bodies, and therefore, if it had been a person, it would smell entirely different. But I knew it had to be a wild person, just for argument's sake. Not, we're domestic. They're wild. So I just put, I made a mental note of that. So that was the second time. And then the third time, she started throwing things in my direction. She started throwing. She didn't try to hurt me or anything. She just, and bless her heart, she didn't throw it hard. She only threw it like across my feet to try to get my attention, try to get me to look. And then I think it was the fourth time, I was sitting down and I thought, right, I'm going to try something. So I thought, man, I used to use thought photography on my animals where I could get them to respond and they could see what I was thinking. I could see what they were thinking. So I thought I'd try it. I didn't know her name was Tibu at the time. I just thought, and I didn't even know it was a she. I just thought, okay, I'm going to just try this. And I tried it. And I got back this, woo, woo. You know, I heard her respond by going, woo, woo. Well, my husband said it was children. So I said, okay, let's see what happens if it happens again. So it went, woo, woo. And I thought, okay, I'm not too sure. So I thought in my head, right, if you're a forest person, do it a third time. And I got back, woo, woo, right? So I thought, okay, we got connection then. So then I thought in my head, because what it was, I had noticed there was this big log about 12, must have been 12, 15 feet tall. It was, but half the bark had been smoothed off, like it'd been, I don't know, polished off somehow. And she later told me that was because what she did, she eats the larvae off the inside the bark. So, and she smoothed it down. And anyway, I said to her I wanted to leave her. And this is all I did in my head. I thought, I want to leave you some apples and some veg or something but I would love to see you. And I showed her in my mind what happened with a bad experience I had with her people in America. And she reassured me that they intended me no harm. They were just concerned for me because I was a child. So anyway, I also obviously told her of the other 2 times, but she said I misunderstood. So what she said was right. I've got a surprise for you. I'll use that log, so that will designate where I am. This is what she was telling me in her head. She said, and I'll have a surprise there for you when you see me in my den. And I thought, huh? So anyway, I think it was the following day or a few days later. I can't remember. Anyway, I went to the woodlands. Yeah, it was a couple of days later because I was with my husband. I went into the woods, and there was that log, but it was amazing. She smoothed it over in like a arc, like a shepherd's crook, and it pointed down. It was like it was indicating down. So I looked down and I thought, I don't know, what is that? So I knelt down, which is hard for me to get back up from, but in this case I had to kneel down. I had my frame with me, and I knelt down and I looked in, I placed the apples in there, and then I looked over, and my eyes, I could see like a shimmer, shaped like a person, coming into shape, and I saw this big bed of pine needles. So anyway, and I saw this being come to light. And I was able to get my eyes were then accustomed to see what it actually was looking at. And she was beautiful. I mean, I was just taken back how beautiful she was. So, anyway, I left her the apples, and I was so excited because, she could have grabbed me. But it didn't click on it straight away. I did actually think to myself how nice it would be to be able to curl up in there with her, but not realizing that's why she put the pine needles in there. But then I had to let her know, I had to let her know it wasn't, the thought was nice and greatly appreciated, but my scoliosis, which she doesn't know the term, when I explained to her my spine is twisted, and she didn't understand, so I had to give a mental picture of it so she could understand. And she understood then when I told her about my spine being twisted, and that if it hadn't been twisted, I would have taken her up on it, but because my spine was twisted, I was going to have to forego. But the thought was greatly appreciated, because then that showed me that I had nothing to fear, and that she only had, she didn't want me, she noticed I had to stop a lot, and she was just concerned. She wanted me to be able to rest, and I thought that was sweet, so I did tell her that was sweet. And I really appreciate it. But when she started communicating with me by telepathy, I used to get massive headaches from her to communicate with me. It's not so difficult now. She can just pop into my head, and I can differentiate her thoughts, because my thoughts, I have a quiet brain, and, I pray to God, and my brain just is, I see my brain, I can see pictures in my brain, which, I think in pictures. Sometimes I think in abstract thoughts, but most of the time my brain thinks in pictures, and I have vivid dreams and nightmares and so forth and so on. And I used to keep having these dreams about the forest people and my connection. I used to have, from a child, I had these dreams about me being that I wasn't a forest person, but that there was a connection between me and the forest people, and I had that dream for years. Even though I'm British and born here, I had that even in America. And there's other weird dreams, vivid dreams I had that's hard to explain. And I've had visitors since I was 4, and they're kind of hard to go into at the minute. But as for Tibu, she told me her name was Tibu, which means loves much in her language, or much love. I can't remember exactly what she told me it means, but basically it just means that she's got a loving nature. She's I think she's like me. She's barren. She's never been able to give birth. But she told me she's like 200 years old, and I think for sure that's what she said. She's 200 years old, something like that. Because they live quite an extensive long life because of their size. And they live underground, and they also live above ground. It depends on how they feel. Like Tibu, some of our people live in the tunnels and things that run down along the city. They were living there. But others, they prefer the forest. And like Tibu, she loves the forest. It's her playground. She loves being in the forest, and she loves seeing people and watching people. And like I said, when I came out of the forest today, or just about to come out, she shouted to me, and I called out to her, "Tibu, I'm here, where are you?" So I'm sure tomorrow when I go in the woodlands, I'll be seeing Tibu again. And I'm going to try to do a live broadcast in there tomorrow. and that. But she was very, I don't know, she was very sweet. She called out to me. I'm sure she said hello, and because she's trying her hardest to learn how to speak the same as we do, but she's picking up on it from other people. She's learning our language from other people to speak our language, and she's done a good job. But I wouldn't begin to know how to speak in her language. But the thing is, she is just a very, well, I think, like I said, she's a bit, they're descendants from Esau, but somehow or other they ended up living on other planets as well. I don't know. I don't understand that, but as she was telling me that they live on other planets too, which makes good sense to me, but I don't fully comprehend why they would want to go be on other planets when there's so much they got this end to go through. And I like to share more of what they've got. That I like to share more of them, and I like to share more about their history and that, and as time goes on. But like I said, I don't know how much time I got left because of this sarcoidosis, and I'm not worried. I just hope I have enough time to let's see if I can sit up here. I just hope I have enough time to educate people about them and their nature, and hopefully I can record them tree knocking next time. Yeah, that's more of the lymphadenopathy. It's making me puffy, that side. That's the lymphadenopathy. But, no, I don't go for people saying rude things about me, but I don't care what people say. Because all I do is tell you what I know, tell you what I've experienced, tell you what I've seen, tell you what I know to be true, and you judge for yourself. And who knows, maybe at some point you have the experiences I've had in one form or another. Because our Lord has made and created worlds within worlds within worlds. And that means that He's created different dimensions of worlds. He's created as well worlds within worlds. In other words, like, we can look at the microscopic world, and then there's a world beyond that, and then in other words, He's created so many worlds, and there's worlds within those worlds, and His creations go on forever and ever. What we see, we only see one side of what He's created, but He's created a plethora of other worlds and other dimensions and everything, because that's who He is. He's the creator. He spoke into existence everything, but earth is His throne. I mean, not His throne, His footstool, and heaven is His throne. So, He's got a large throne, and when He comes again, He's not going to come. I'm not telling you how He's going to come, because you'll find out. And if you read your scriptures properly, you get a good version of the Bible, either Messianic Bible, or you get a King James Version Bible, but a good one, an accurate one. And in that, it tells you how he's going to appear. Or a Gideon Bible. That will tell you how he's going to appear. But sorry. But if you go on to, it's just I like these little chips. I go for little chips. I prefer little chips over big ones. I don't know what it is. I just prefer little chips over big chips. And I don't know why that is. But if you go in Revelations and you look for when he comes again, it gives a very accurate description how he's going to look and what he's going to look like and how he's going to appear to his people, those of us who believe in him, who are alive at that time, and those of us who are dead will be resurrected at that time to be with him. But you'll be surprised because you'll be expecting, if you're of a certain mindset, you're going to end up finding yourself badly disappointed because he's going to appear. Well, I'll let you find out. And I'll speak to you later. And I've got a film to produce, to put together for you. But I've got to go in the woodlands more and do some more filming in there. Love all of you, and God bless.